Got it. So I'll make sure we are live.
It does say it's me. It's streaming live on Facebook. So
See us. Hello, hello, my love. Got it. All right, I am here with one of my current soulmate clients, Leslie Hodgins. If you are new to me, welcome. I'm Rosalind Fung, Akashic business coach specializing in bold and unapologetic visibility for client attraction and soulful selling. And in this short client spotlight, I have my soulmate client, Leslie Hodgins, who is a joy and confidence coach and CEO of the Revolutionary Mom. And I wanted to interview Leslie today because you might, as you're watching this, see yourself in her. Before we start working together, we're going to talk a bit about her struggles and some of the challenges that she had and why she hired me to support her in client attraction and what she's been up to. So, hi, love. Thank you so much for being here with me.
thanks for asking me. It's a pleasure.
Love it. So let's go into what got, where were you before we started working together in your business?
So I thought I had a pretty good idea about where I was and the direction I was heading. It was something that had been evolving for a few years, but I had finally solidified on something. But it wasn't actually because I was having a hard time, I guess, getting the visibility and engagement that I was looking for. I was having a hard time signing on clients. Um, and I was feeling like something wasn't quite right, but I wasn't sure like what or even how to kind of go about changing it because I had, you know, in one way felt like, oh, I've got it. This is it. Like I had my colors, my branding, everything, but it wasn't quite right. It just didn't sit properly. Um, and so, I mean, I guess I struggled with some confidence as well because it was like, well, where are my people? What am I doing wrong? Why is it taking this long? Um, and I think part of it too is also just not finding, like I had coaching and it had all been great, tons of learning experiences, but I hadn't found somebody that I guess we were like fully aligned or like walking hand in hand kind of thing. That sounds really funny. Anyway,
Well, that's what we do.
uh,
That's what we do. We skip down and we
but there
hold
was
hands.
I, we go on the journey for a little while and then like something would change and evolve with them, which was phenomenal. It was great, but it wasn't working with where I was hoping I would kind of be with them. So there was a lot of like, do it myself. And I can be very stubborn sometimes too. So there was just a lot of like um, half clarity, half direction, and not knowing what I didn't know and where to go next, and big gaps in like, I could see where I wanted to go, but how do I get there?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, typical entrepreneurial struggles, but it definitely messed with confidence and I guess like my motivation and my consistency quite a bit also took a hit as a result because it's like, well, I don't know what to post. So,
Right.
good
So
times.
it was like lack of full on clarity and in having that clear path of action. So then,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that with us. I'm curious, what got you to go, yes, I want to work with Roz?
We met, we chatted a few times over Facebook. I can't remember exactly how that started, but in chatting with you, even just through the DMs, all of a sudden I was like, this woman is speaking the way I want to be seeing myself speak. And it was like literally as if somebody had taken my words and given them 5 years experience. And I never, ever come across that. And I was like, because I've had people try to work on my copy before and it never sounds like me. And I've taken issue with that. So as soon as I was talking with Roz, I was like, oh my God, this woman gets me. So, and then like the energy was phenomenal. And she was just always like really friendly, really outgoing. I never felt like she was like being super salesy because that's a thing these days.
We're not available for
Um,
that. Genuine,
and
authentic.
I just felt like, it's like I've never met her in person, but I feel like I could go on like, have a coffee with her and we'd be the best of friends. But at the same time, professional coaching and getting like what I need. Like, so I was like, I need to know more about this lady.
I love it. I love it. And so were there any objections that you had to like work through before you said yes in working with me?
So because I've had issues in the past, I mean, not issues, but because I've never had like a coaching experience, especially in the long term, that worked out the way I wanted it to. There was a little bit of hesitation there because it's an investment along the lines of it being an investment. And one of the reasons I want to start my own business is so that there is that financial freedom at some point, but I haven't hit that spot yet. So finances have been a little bit tight. Um, but I mean, Roz was super open with me. I was super open with her. We were able to come to amazing agreements, which I think was a win-win for everybody. And it was just really easy afterwards to say, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes. And just so speaking to you, my loves, with regards to Leslie, and you may also see yourself in this too. It's like, when you're onboarding a potential lead, it's really looking at meeting them where they're at and building that trust. So for me, and of course, I'm always full transparency. I'm like, Leslie has been burnt before, hasn't really had that success that she's been hoping for in working with previous coaches. And I know we've all been there. And I don't want to be, like that's not where so she's kind of got like this resistance around hiring, investing again. And I know that Shell, because she's completely my ideal client, I'm like, I'm super confident in helping her get her to where she wants to go. But I need to earn that trust with her. So we started out one-on-one in a smaller package, and then she started seeing the results, which we're going to start talking a little bit about. And then that gave you more confidence to invest more in Client Attraction Academy. And then you just recently, congratulations, graduated yourself into Soul Ascension Business Academy. So the Client Attraction Academy is a 12-week group coaching program. And then the Soul Ascension Business Academy is like the queen program. Queen King program of client attraction, getting yourself out there more visibly, and then soulfully selling. So it's a year-long group and one hybrid program where I also have expert coaches for copywriting, for social media, marketing, as well as for energy clearing. And so this is like the full-on meal plus dessert, and then the extra dessert, and throw in the appetizers kind of program. So
Absolutely.
Leslie, tell us a little bit about in your journey and working with me so far, what have been the results that you have received and created for yourself and your
So
business?
first of all, just like through the openness and the coaching, you were able to kind of like give me that little like nudge, and follow my instincts about how what I'm doing in my business right now isn't quite there. And so you've supported and helped me through a total rebrand. I mean, same message, but more, I guess, on point and deeper,
Align
which
with who
opened up
you are.
a ton more clarity. Like now my posts mean something, or at least I think they do. And the visibility is getting there. Like I have not had consistent engagement like this, you know, continuously for, like going back the last 2 months. I think I've had more than I've had in the last like year consistently kind of thing. So there's been the support. I mean, I've been known to like DM Roz the weirdest of questions, or just kind of like out of the blue,
They're the
and
greatest.
she'll always come back with a very honest, very open answer. And just that ongoing support, like, she's there to help me. She actually has helped me. Or I guess you have helped. I'm speaking to you.
You're the cutest.
But then the group itself that you have, like, the
Yeah.
people that you have in your groups, their energy is amazing. It's supportive. It's one of the first times I don't feel like I'm the only one with the same, or the problems in the group. Like, 'cause, like, I've been in like other groups, but like everyone, the problems were so different, or there was like a group that had all the same problems, and then there's like a few outliers. Whereas like here, everyone's got, very similar things.
Struggles.
So there's a lot of support, and it's just very comfortable to be able to like post in the group and then like get feedback, or be vulnerable. And like I've been so vulnerable, especially the last 2 weeks, but I mean, now that I've given myself permission for it, I don't feel as like worried or concerned about it as like I might have before. So there's been a lot of mindset shifts. There's been the visibility. There's been the total rebrand, which I mean I'm still working and playing with, but it's feeling like me.
Oh,
And then even just coming up with like a different title for myself. Like I was calling myself a stress management coach before, which is fine. It's very on point, but it kind of had
I was like,
negative.
girl, that's not that sexy. Let's change it up for you.
So we upgraded to joy and confidence coach. And all of a sudden I was like, hey, like, and then like
Yes.
I could even just feel myself feeling more like open and joyous and stuff. So just these little nudges, these little bits of support, these little mindset tweaks that, stuff that maybe never even occurred to me. And all of a sudden it was like, hey, that's a great idea. Um,
Yes, and even changing your whole like company name because it was Hot Mess Mamas, which
that's
that
right. Yeah.
that's kind of like your. I always talk about our ideal clients are former versions of ourselves, and so like you took yourself from that to help like getting more aligned with joy and confidence as a woman and as a mom, and
Mhm.
this is who you work with, and so I'm like we need to like change that because you're changing the way motherhood is and that's revolutionary, and so we came up with that name. I love that every time we have our sessions, this is like as a personal favorite from my perspective, I'm like I love how Leslie gets so freaking excited and you're like squealing. You're like, oh my God, my mind is blown right now. Oh my God. Like this has like Roz, and you're just in so much soulgasmic energy. I'm like, yep, you're welcome. It's been so fun watching you grow and expand and like your mind blown. And then you are, this is key, my loves. Okay, for you to get results, you are taking aligned action. And Leslie is very much about taking that knowledge because just having that knowledge is not power. Then you're needing to do something with it, right? Take aligned action. And you've been doing that so beautifully, love, so beautifully. And I love that, as you're getting more clarity, because as we're recording this, Leslie is still working with me and she has been working on shifting things, really putting down the foundations energetically for her next level. This does take time. You guys have heard me say it's not like a quick overnight fix, right? Like this is about taking the time to get really aligned with who you are in your brand, in your niche, in your messaging, and crafting that so then it's ready for the next steps of creating that masterclass, and you're building your audience from the masterclass and then selling into your program. We've also talked about that too, is coming up with what does your new program look like, what's the package look like, what's the price point look like, and having more clarity about that too. So
Mhm.
anything else you want to add there, love? I just want to say, like, I'm celebrating you so much. The
I
activations.
really, well, I appreciate it. Like I just I feel, honestly, I feel like another level of energy when I'm in the groups and just coaching even one-on-one with you. And it's unlike anything I've been through before. So I mean, there's the ups and downs that come with it, but there's growth there, and it's growth that I was looking for and didn't know how to get. So I'm excited. Like I think 2023 is going to be like there's gonna be so much growth, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm just
I'm so excited. So, my loves, I wanted to come on to share with you. This is what real time looks like when you're working with a client who's in the process. I think so many times we see like what happens afterwards and the results. And I wanted to demonstrate what the process looks like so that you can kind of like we can peel behind the curtains and for you to see real life like this is what's happening, right? And in real time, because I think there's a real problem, if you will, in marketing in the coaching world where it's like look at the destinational results, right? But like what about in the journey? And I think so. Thank you so much, Leslie, for playing with me here and with my like beautiful community to share like this is what it looks like when we're coaching in real time, and we still have ways to go. This is awesome. And look how far you've come, and more importantly your confidence to put yourself out there, market yourself, have the clarity to know who exactly you're calling in, how to do that. This is all like that beautiful process in setting the energetic foundations. So thank you.
Thank you.
My last question. What would you say if somebody's like, should I work with Roz?
Absolutely. 12 out of 10.
You're so sweet.
I mean, as long as it's aligned, but like,
Of
I mean,
course, I was just
you're
gonna
gonna go
say
on a
that.
journey that you're gonna go on a journey that like you never even expected, but some part of you is gonna be like, yeah, this is what I needed.
So, yes, of course, it's always about alignment. So, those of you who are watching, you're like, all right, this is my sign. I need to get on a call with Roz, see how I can be supported with her. Go to just DM me, my loves. All right, DM me. And let's get on a call, or you can go to electrifymybusiness.com and book yourself in. Thank you so much, Leslie, for your time, my love. I just love your energy. I'm just so excited about this year and supporting you and seeing you rise up, revolutionary mama. And you guys are welcome. I'm going to tag Leslie to follow her too and watch her transition. And of course, if you're like, oh my God, I need to get into this woman's world because I feel like she might be really good for me, go and connect with her. All right? All right. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.